We have a few items to get shipped out this morning. We only have 3 going out. Not a big set of orders going out today. But I thought I would just go live from the barn. We're going to get these items shipped out, and then we're just going to spend some time doing my normal listing routine. So if you want to hang out, you want to see what it's like for a full-time reseller, what they typically do. Like I said, I'm going to get my shipping done. Then I brought in some boxes that I pulled from my storage unit. And we're just going to start the sorting process and figuring out what we want to list on eBay. Because sometimes when you buy big lots of stuff, not everything is worth it to put online. So the stuff that is worth it to put online, we'll throw on eBay. And then the stuff that's not worth it, we'll throw it in our flea market booth. So the first thing that we're going to ship out here is something that I've had listed, I don't even know how long, probably like 3 or 4 years. This came from a garage sale where they were just blowing everything out for super cheap, lots of vintage stuff. I made a lot of money on that sale, and we have a few stragglers that just hasn't sold yet. Hey, how's it going, Linda? Hello, Texas. I wish I was there right now. It's rainy and cold here. But we have this t-shirt. I don't even remember what it says on there. It says, I'll pull up the shirt. Be adventurous. Take me home for the weekend. Be adventurous. Take me home for the weekend. Again, I've had this listed for years. The sale that I got this from, they were selling all of their clothing for 10 cents a piece. So it's just something that I've had for a while. The rest of it sold. This was just kind of a random t-shirt you would have got from Kmart back in the day. We're going to put it directly into a poly bag and send it on its way. It sold, again, I've got 10 cents into it. It did sell for $8.48, and the buyer paid shipping on top of that. I actually sold a second thing on my page. If you're new to me, I have a business partner. So part of my sales are from my personal page, and part come from a page that we sell or we share with a business partner. So this one was from my personal store. And I sold a second thing, and I just have no idea where it is. Again, it was something I've had listed for years, and I just couldn't find it. So I took a break from looking for it, and we'll go back to it at some point. Okay, so we're going to switch over to mine and Brandon's store. Brandon is my business partner. We have 2 items that I actually have here going out from that store. We have more than that sold, but I just don't have them here. Some of them are at our shop, some of them are at the storage unit, and some of them are at Brandon's house. Kind of depending on where we list it at, that's where it's normally stored. Okay, so the first thing that we have was a pretty good sale. This complete in box Jurassic Park toy in really nice shape. This came from a woman that has been selling us toys now for about a year. We've gone back multiple times, and the cool thing is they kept all of the original boxes. We got a ton of original Mask stuff. We got G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, new Ghostbusters stuff. So lots of really good stuff came from this person. And I don't know what I have into this, but it's not much. I would guess maybe $10 tops. And it sold for $199. So $199. The good thing is I had a Amazon box that something was shipped to us, and it's a really good fit for this dinosaur. And the way this dinosaur sits in there, there's a little bit of movement from front to back, but nothing to the side. So I'm going to put a little bit of bubble wrap in this little gap right here just to keep it from moving inside the box. And we'll put a little paper in there as well. And again, that's just to keep it from going front to back, so now it's not shaking around. You shut your mouth, Brandon. This shirt's pretty cool. I just got this in the mail the other day. You're lame. So we're going to get some bubble wrap around this box now. And then after this one, we do have one more that I have here to ship out. It was something I probably sold a little too cheap. Shut your mouth, Brandon. I sold it a little too cheap, but it was broken, and I didn't think it would sell for as good, but it sold pretty much instantly. Brandon's just calling me a nerd because he doesn't know how to read. He doesn't like things with books. No, it was broke, Brandon. There was no way to set the dial on it. Whenever you'd spin the... We'll talk about it after this, but whenever you spin that dial, nothing was happening. So you couldn't actually set the time. So I don't know what was wrong with it. But we'll talk about that as soon as we're done with this Jurassic Park toy. Okay, so this Jurassic Park toy is now boxed up. Okay, let's talk about this last item that sold. This item has a couple year-long story that kind of goes with it. I think it was 2 years ago at this point. Me and Brandon picked a person's house that had a bunch of like cowboy toys. I think it was Roy Rogers maybe. But they had all of these toys that we went to go make an offer on. And we were, in this person's house looking at these cowboy toys. And then there's like a cabinet with some cars. And then above a door was a shotgun. It was just like hanging out up there. We asked if it was for sale. We didn't know really anything about guns. But it looked old. It looked nice. They said it was for sale. We asked how much they wanted. They said just throw an offer. Again, we didn't really know anything about it. We ended up paying $50 for it. After I did a little research on it, I sent it to a sheriff that I know, and basically found out that it was from the 1800s. It was in really nice shape, and I was told that it was worth bare minimum about $300, but it could go up from there. Put it behind a door in my house that I have, like where I have my stuff, like a collection room. Put it behind the door, and it just sat there for 2 years and never really did anything with it. And then took it to our buddy Adam. offered it to him, and he didn't want to pay 300. I think his offer was 150. I asked if he'd take 200. He kind of stuck with 150. I figured we could get that 300 or pretty close to it if we shopped it around. And basically, there was a trade offered up, and the trade was for this. It is a Gucci watch. He purchased it, didn't really want to deal with it. He deals more with like gold and silver coins. Even though this is like a high dollar brand, it's just not really things that he likes to sell. And there's no real gold. It's just all plated. But the thing about this watch, so we traded, straight trade, the shotgun for this watch. The dial on this thing. So when you turn the dial, nothing happens. Obviously, when you turn that dial, it's supposed to set the hands so you can set it to the time that you want. Or I'm assuming that's supposed to be what happens. That's what every other watch does that I've ever had. So I listed this as broken. We were seeing like, $400 for a working one. It did come with some extra bezels. These things are pretty cheap. Like these were only sold for $15. This one was a little better. It had a price tag for $65 on it back when it came out. Yeah, Brandon, it pulls out. So you got the dial, you pop it away from the watch, and then you twist it. I tried that as well. It doesn't work. I pushed it in, pulled it out. But yeah. So I listed it as broken. I'm assuming it was broke. I don't know if I don't think changing a battery would fix the dial portion. But anyway, we sold it for $300. I listed it for $299 and it sold fairly instantly. So I probably should have went for that $400 range still anyway. But again, we paid $50 for the shotgun, sold the watch for $300. We made a pretty good profit on it. So let's get this thrown into a box. And this was the last item that I have to actually ship out today. So then we'll start processing some stuff that I pulled from the storage unit. And it could be, I don't know, like there was like some warranty stuff, but from what I read, it was like a 1-year warranty, but it did come with like the paperwork for it as well. And like I said, those extra bezels were included. And just like that, the Gucci watch is boxed up, ready to go. So I only had the 3 orders going out. So we are going to shift our focus now, and we're going to start processing some items. So let me go grab the box that I grabbed. Okay, so what I have here is a box that we've had for, I don't remember when we bought these, but they are model cars. And they're not models that you would necessarily build, because the models that you would build would be like they'd have the the parts underneath that are like plasticky. The hoods a lot of times open on these things. So what these are their dealer models. So they would like, I guess they would give these out in the dealerships or possibly sell them. I'm not 100% sure. We've sold quite a few of these. We got some really good money on some of these. So basically what I'm going to do right now is we're going to go through these cars and we're going to determine if it's worth selling online or if we need to put it in the flea market booth. So we're going to be doing some research on these. Some things that we're going to look out for is like broken pieces and then trying to find dates and what the actual car is. So this is from 1962. It's a Bonneville. So I have noticed some of these are like missing tail lights and headlights. So we have a 1962 Bonneville dealer car. So for instance, here's one that is very similar, but it's green instead of the like orangish brown color. That one currently is listed for $149 with watchers. Let's see if we can find the color that I have. Doesn't look like there's, so they're dealer promos. So let's type in dealer promo. So there's all kinds of different colors. And it looks like all of them are listed in the $75 to $150 range. Careful with some of those. Looks like repainted interior to some. I will look out for this one. This one's just got the white plastic, so that one's not been painted. To me, it looks like this is all, you know, factory paint. So this one should be good. And it has this like, it's like basically a tensioner. So when you roll it, it's not just like gliding super smoothly. A lot of these have these like black metal pieces. So we're going to see if we can find some sold versions. One sold for $60, not this collar, but so like here's a maroon red convertible. That one sold for $462. So if you can find these dealer promos, they are definitely a good investment if you can get them cheap. So we'll definitely set this one to the side. I think that realistically, we should be able to get somewhere in the $50 to $100 range fairly easily. Okay, so this one does have an issue, and we'll just make sure to note it because it's not really affecting it at all. But there are 4 screws that are supposed to go into there, and all 4 are missing. So we'll just make sure we note that when we list it. Morning, Alicia. How you doing today? Okay, so let's go with the next one. So to me, this one does look like it has possibly a painted bottom. We've got the bumpers, the tail lights are there. This one's in pretty good shape. This one is a 1962 Buick Electra. Again, it's missing 1 screw, so we'll make sure we note that. So we'll see if we can find. I'm sure if they're in good shape, we've been finding that most of them are worthy of listing. So we have a 1962 Buick Electra 225 promo. And I'm not sure if we have any of the models in here, but if I come across one, I'll let you know the difference between those dealer promos and the model. Okay, so actually, here is the exact one. So it's a dealer promo friction car. So that is the exact car. And this one sold on bids for $67. So that one's going to be worthy to be listed. Missing some comments. Yep, everything's going well. I know, I love these t-shirts. This is the Harry Potter one. I just got these in the mail the other day, but I love the way they look. And I did put it in the description today. So if you want to see those, I put it in the description, the link to go find it and the name of this exact shirt. Okay, so the next car we're going to check here. This one's a little bit different. It's got a metal bottom to it. It's an AMT. So this one might be a model, but it's an older model. So it's an AMT. It's a Pontiac. And this one's going to have to take some cleaning. I don't know my cars very well. Pontiac Star. Honestly, it looks like Star Chick. Pontiac Star Chick. Oh, you're funny, Brandon. Okay, let's see if this... I don't know if that's an actual car. Let's see if we can do a Google image. See what we can find. Google image is a really great way to research what you have. I just don't think it's a good way to research prices. So it's a Star Chief. Star Chief. Don't have a date. I just know it's an AMT Pontiac Star Chief. So our listed prices on something like this, we've got 109, 124, as low as 45 for some. But it looks like 45 is probably the bottom dollar for this. Now this does not have, there's no interior. So I don't know if it had an interior. It is missing a screw. I would assume it did. I don't know. We should probably still list this like in the $20 range. I think it's probably still worth about 20 bucks in this condition. Okay, this one is in rough shape. The seats just fell out. Okay, so this one is a cheaper feeling one. So it's from 1963. It's a Mercury. What's it say on the bottom here? Mercury Comet. To me, this one feels more not like a dealer promo, but an actual model. The bottom has definitely been painted black. We'll type in dealer promo and we'll try to compare it to see if there's any listed. So this one is a convertible. Again, the seat. Seat just kind of popped off there. Not feeling confident about this one. There's a good rattle inside of there as well. We're going to sit this one to the side. This one's pretty dirty. Again, we got that metal bottom. It does have its tail lights, though. This is a Ford Fairlane. (1958) Ford Fairlane. So here's the exact car. This one is in much better shape, but you can see it. I did find the car. And that one is listed for $275. Let's see if there's any solds. One with, instead of the white, it's like a baby blue. That one sold for $56. And it is the same type of car. So that's definitely going to be one to list online as well. We're going to have to clean it up really nice, though. So this one does have some issues. So we just need to see what the price would be in like nice shape. But this one's missing, looks like a mirror. Looks like there's a hole for something that went on the back there. So we got a 1964. Now I got to figure out what, there it is. Caliente Comet. I think that's what that says. Caliente. My eBay has been really weird with like the search function here lately. It used to be as soon as I type it in and search for something, it would keep it in the recent. And now like I could go back and alter what I like added words or anything. And now when I go back, it takes me further back. It's been really annoying. So it's a 1964 Caliente Comet dealer promo. So there's only 3 listed, ranging from 50. Actually, there's only 2 listed. So $50 and $199. Let's see if there's any solds. So the only one that sold is this blue one, and ours is yellow, but theirs is missing missing a mirror as well, and it sold for $23 on bids. So I think we could probably get a little more for this. Normally when you do bids, you go a little bit cheaper. So I'd probably list this in the $50 range and shoot for that. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to shift our view from actually looking these up. We're just going to check these over to make sure that they are dealer promos, because every one I'm finding is we're selling online. So there's no reason to do all the research right now. We'll just set the ones that I know we're going to sell online. We'll set those to the side, and then we'll start cleaning them and just trying to weed out the ones I don't think. So like, even though they're missing parts, like that one still sold for 20 bucks on bids. This one's missing a tail light. I think we're going to go ahead and still just get all of these listed. And we'll just make sure. This one's got a weird. This one's got a weird, like, glossy bottom compared to the rest. So yeah, we're just making sure that they're actually dealer promos, because the models do not sell very well. Make sure they're not like broken or. Oh, this one's pretty gross. Hopefully we'll be able to clean that one up. Looks so. Looks like they were painting the interior of this one. And it's all in pieces. I'm just going to throw that away. We're way into the profit on these. There's no need for me to try to like piece those together. This one should have come with a back or a canopy or something right here. So that's missing. But some of these AMC ones have been good. So I think we're still going to clean these up. The only one I had a question on was this one. Again, I may go ahead and just see what we got rattling inside of here. Remove whatever it is that's rattling, because it's still in decent shape besides the seat. Let's grab a screwdriver. We'll remove whatever this rattling piece is, and then we'll go on to the cleaning portion. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 10 cars to list, not including this one if we decide to list this one. Okay, so the pieces that were rattling on the inside were these little like plastic washers. And honestly, I don't even think you need them. Yeah, we're just going to leave those off there. I don't think you need those little plastic washers. So we'll reassemble it, which is just literally putting the bottom back on. Yeah, and that one's got a painted back. It takes these interesting looking screws. Okay, now there's no rattle in there. The only issue is that the seat does come off there. So we'll just make a point to note that when we list it. Now, this antenna did fall off, so we just need to make sure that that goes back on. Looks like the antenna's broke as well. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 11 cars that we need to clean. Once we get them cleaned, they'll be good to list. I am going to clean off my workstation here. So we're going to take these. These were the ones that we packed up earlier. We're going to move those to the side. Going to grab some cleaning supplies. So the cleaning supplies that I like to use for stuff like this is just paper towel, a magic eraser if I need it, and then some Goo Gone. That's typically the way I do it. And then I'll grab a little Windex for the clear plastic pieces as well. So we got our supplies now. Some of these definitely need more cleaning than the others. So we'll start with this one again. It's just kind of got like mildewy to it. So we'll start by just doing some Goo Gone, a couple sprays, and then I just kind of fold it up to get it worked over the whole thing. And we'll just start wiping this thing down. So again, this is what it looks like before. If you can kind of see the spots on there. We'll just do our best to clean it. Mainly hoping those like mildewy spots come off. They are not wanting to come off very easily. So the problem is if we go to the magic eraser, there's a chance that it's going to eat at the paint and scratch the paint up. And these cars have just sat for years and years. So the top is cleaning up okay. The windshield's cleaning up nicely, but the paint is just not coming off there. You're a sick individual, Brandon. Okay, we're gonna just try a little of the magic eraser. We'll go lightly to see if that'll help. And I just don't want it to scratch the paint. That does seem to be doing it. Okay, so the magic eraser is definitely doing the trick, and it doesn't seem to be damaging the paint that I can tell. It might be doing it a little. So you can kind of see it a little bit hurting the paint. But the only other option is you leave it like spotted and mildewy. So I don't know what the best option is for that. Hopefully some of these other ones are already in pretty decent shape. It's just the ones that are got spots all over them. But it is pulling off a little bit of the paint. Like I said, the other option is you leave the mildewy spots on there and it looks like there's mold growing on the car. So going to put some water with this magic eraser. Adding the water definitely helped. It's not so much just scratching the paint away as it's actually doing the cleaning. And a wheel just fell off, which happened with some of the other ones we sold. It's not a big deal. We still sold some for a couple $100 that had the wheels like that. Okay, this card looks way better than it did before. Okay, so now you can see not all those mildewy spots all over it. I'll try to get this wheel back on. And another one's coming off. There we go. This one should be good to list now. So we'll set that one to the side. To do a thorough test or a thorough clean, if you wanted to get even better with it, unless there are labels that might soak off. Okay, like soaking it might work as well. So this one's pretty mildewy. Maybe we'll soak that one. It's just all plastic and metal. I think this one will clean just fine. Like this one's pretty bad. Maybe we should try to soak those. Let's take the magic eraser. So let's try this one. Let's see what the magic eraser does to it. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Linda. You said unless there are labels that might soak off. So I'm saying we may try to soak it. I was going off your recommendation. So let's try the magic eraser on this one before we decide to soak it, just to see what it's going to do to it. That's something just looks like a tail light fell off. So yeah, just a quick right here. I just barely took the magic eraser over it. It cleaned it pretty easily. And there are some spots. Maybe we'll take these white ones in because that's the issue. I don't have water out here besides distilled water. This one will clean up fine. This yellow one had some spots. You think bleach would help with that? I'll set these white ones to the side. Maybe we'll try the bleach on those. The mild solution. Some of these other ones are not bad to begin with. Like this one's in pretty good shape. So we'll just wipe this one down. This one just had a small spot on the hood. Oh. And that one came off pretty easily. It is missing, I don't know what was supposed to go there, but it's missing whatever it was, maybe a mirror. Again, this one is missing a tail light. But I think this one's probably good to go. So that makes 2 that we got done. Again, this one was already pretty nice, pretty clean. There's just a couple small marks. Like there's one on the hood, so we'll go real lightly with the magic eraser. It pulled it right off. That's a scratch. Okay, this one was, again, just needed a very minor wipe down. It's already in pretty good shape. So we got 3 of them done. This one had some scratches on the top of the car, but there's not really like things to clean. It's actually in pretty good shape. This is one of those that had the mildewy spots as well. And again, there's no interior on this one. It's just the shell. Top of that cleaned pretty easily and nicely, but there's just, you can still see some kind of dug in. So we'll just go over it again lightly. Oh, this one's cleaning really nicely. The magic eraser really did the trick with that one. We'll just go over the rest of the car just lightly. And this car looks way better now too. Got the blue one here. The outside's looking nice. It's just, since this one doesn't have a top, we're going to have to clean the interior. This is the one that the seeds come out actually. So that'll actually make it easier to clean. Well, that part just popped off. We'll get that put back on. Yeah, having those seats come out definitely makes it easier to clean this. And that one is looking pretty good too. The magic eraser is doing a really good job with not like scratching the paint real bad or anything. Some of those white ones are we're going to try the deeper clean, letting them soak. Again, if I really wanted to get this one really nice, these hard tops, you'd have to take them apart and clean the inside. So we're just going to leave the insides kind of dusty. I'll probably put in my description that for the best results, whoever purchases it can take it apart and clean the interior. Still a couple spots on the top. It's not too bad. So whenever you see comments on resellers' videos about how it's not work and all you have to do is list it in 3 minutes and it's done, that's not true. Sometimes you have to take quite a bit of time per item to clean them, to make them nice to where somebody's going to want to buy it. Anybody going anywhere for Thanksgiving? Or do you pretty much just stick around your local area? We only drive about 15-20 minutes to get to our Thanksgiving. It's not bad at all. It's pretty local. Anybody traveling out of state or anything like that? So we started with 11 cars that we needed to clean. We're just finishing our 8th one. And the other 3 are all white cars that we're going to try to soak. Actually, we may just grab one and see, because this magic eraser is actually doing really well now. Once I got a good amount of water on it. Let's try one out. Let's go. So this is the before. You can kind of see how dirty and gross the top is. So let's try this magic eraser. Again, one more quick before. And I'll leave part of it to where you can see the difference between there and there. Yeah, I don't think we'll need to soak this one. It's cleaning pretty nicely. There was already some damage to the hood on this one. So you can see the mark on there. Grab a Q-tip. This one's got some ridges on the front here that this Q-tip will make easier. as the bumper just flew off there. This one definitely has more scratches than some of the other ones had. Got a missing tail light on the back. Just in general, a little rougher than some of these other ones. So we'll just make sure that when we list it, we take an account to the condition, to the price that we're trying to get. And if you guys want to see these listings after I'm done prepping and taking photographs, they'll be on the Flippin' Retro eBay, which you can find that in my bio on my link tree. But that's where all of these will go. Okay, it does look much nicer, but like I said, this one's just got a little more damage than some of the other ones. We'll get this bumper put back on because the bumper did come off here. There we go. Bumper's back on. Heck, we're gonna skip the soaking because this magic eraser is doing the trick. So we got the before there. So I think we will go ahead. We'll take this one inside because even though I cleaned it, I don't know if you can see it, but there's still lots of spots on that one. This one's the same way. So we will take those two inside. So we'll be done with those cars. So we started with 11. I now have 9 that are able to be processed. Photographs taken, stuff like that. So we're just going to kind of sit those to the side for now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to grab the next box of things that we're processing. Clean this up just a tad. My plan, what time is it? We're probably going to go for about another 30 minutes or so. Brandon, you got some serious issues, man. So we're going to go grab another box. We're going to start to process those as well. And then we're going to take a break for lunch. And then we'll come back and start listing some of these. So let's grab that next box. And some of these we will have to go back to the... Oh, you're being serious. I thought you were trying to be funny, Brandon. Okay, so we are going to start looking these up again because although some of these are dealer promos, they're not always great sellers. These are newer dealer promos. So like this one is a 1986 Vet. These are all nice. They're in brand new condition, but they are the dealer promos. They do come with the boxes. So I'm not going to have to do prep on these except for the research process. You know, if one of these cars only sells for like $5 or $6, to me, that's not worth it. We'll throw it in our flea market, for a few. So again, we're dealing with dealer promos. And when you have the dealer promos, They typically have like a license plate that has the date. So this one's a 1986. So there's 81 listed. And when we do solds, there's only 15 sold. So there's not a really good sell-through rate on these, which means I'm going to sit on it for a while if I decide to list it. Like one sold for $10, one sold for $17, one sold for $22. So then what I like to do is I like to go and see, okay, what is the cheapest ones that people are selling? And we want to make sure that it's not on bids, because to me, bids don't tell the true story of what people are trying to get for them. Okay, so we got $10, $6.39, $10. To me, that's not really worth it. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this back in the box. I'm going to throw $5 on it, and I'm just going to put it in the flea market. So somebody can get a little bit of a deal for 50% off what it's basically they're trying to get for it online. So this will be a $5 item for the flea market. So here we have a 1988 Corvette Roadster. And again, it's a dealer promo. So we have 201 listings. So what we're doing right now is we're checking sell-through rate. And when you check sell-through rate, you basically are comparing how many are listed at this exact moment versus how many have sold in the last 90 days. You want those numbers, the solds, to be as close to listed as possible, sometimes going higher. The closer they are, the better the sell-through rate is. Yeah, it seems like anything past the 60s isn't great. That is true, Brandon. We did sell some of the newer ones, but we were still only getting like 10 to 15 bucks for them. And again, this is one of those, there's 200 of these listed and only 3 sold. It's going to be a $5 flea market item. Here we have the 40th anniversary 1993 Corvette convertible. $1993 Corvette convertible. Dealer promo. Okay, so here's the results. So down on the bottom, you have 447 listed. And then when we go to our solds, you have 8. So that is a very big difference. That's just not going to be worth it to sell it. It'll be $5 in the flea market. And there's a good chance that a lot of these are going to be those $5 ones. Now, some of these trucks we were actually selling, that feels empty. There's no truck in there. Okay, so we have a 1990. Looks like we got a lot of the Corvettes. Yep. So 1990 Corvette. This one's a red one. We've got 65 results and 8 sold. So again, $5 flea market. Is how we're going to move those. This one's a 1990 Corvette ZR1. We'll see if the ZR1 adds any value. Okay, so we have 67 listed. Let's change it to just red ones. Okay, so if we do just the red ones, for some reason it took the number higher. Now it's showing 483. So I must have typed something in wrong the first time. And again, we've got 8 results. So $5 flea market. And I think to save myself some time, we may just look at all of these as a whole. So if they're all 90s Corvettes, which we'll pull this one and we'll check it. This one's empty. We got some empty boxes. So all of those are 1990s Corvettes. So to just save some time, because I'm pretty sure they're all going to be $5, we're just going to assume they're $5. We are going to check this one just for the fact that it says limited edition. That doesn't mean it's worth anything, but it means I'm going to look at it, because sometimes you just never know with limited edition stuff. So we're going to check the 1991 Corvette convertible limited edition dealer promo. And I'm going to guess it's white because that's what's popping up. Oh, we just had a good Zippo sale. Let's take a look. So Brandon said we just had a good Zippo sale. And we did. If you've been following my lives, we've been going live from the shop, and this purchase, wait, that's not a Zippo. Hold on. Maybe there's another one I'm missing. There it is. Okay. So we've been going live from the shop, and a guy walked in with 100 Zippos the other day, and we ended up paying about $6 a piece for them. And we just sold this one. So far, this has been the best Zippo sale that we've had. But that one sold, I don't want to show you the buyer's username, but it sold for $74.99. So far, that's the best one we've had. We've had some $30 sales, $35, but $75 so far is the best Zippo sale. So what we were doing is, wherever I set that box down at, right here. We're going to check and see the color of this. So this was the limited edition one. And it's a green, but it has some yellowing. It doesn't say it on the box. Turquoise metallic. Turquoise metallic. So we'll add that. Turquoise. It's still saying there's like 700 listed. Yeah. Still a $5 car. Nothing crazy. That'll go back in there. There were a couple things that weren't part of these. So all of these we're going to just throw in the booth for $5 a piece. If they sell at that price, great. If not, we'll eventually reduce them down to like $3 or $4. Linda, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I've been trying to go live here on YouTube as much as I can. I was going live on TikTok, but I'm really trying to get those watch hours up. So anybody that's watching right now, if you would be so kind, check out any of the videos that I've been posting that are long form, which means over 3 minutes. So if you watch any of those videos, leave a comment, like them. That would be a huge help to me. Okay, so there are a few more things that we're going to check that weren't part of like these 90s things. So here we go. We have another dealer promo, and it's in nice shape. I do not think, I don't know, it could be. It was in this box, but sometimes they weren't matched up in the right boxes. Yeah, so this box was for a Mercury convertible, so it's definitely not that car. So we'll just remove it from the box, but I'm not going to have to clean this thing at all. It's in like really nice shape. So another dealer promo. So when we come back for lunch, we'll get that listed. Here we have a Franklin Mint 1967 convertible. So it's nicer than these plastic models that we've been doing. The one issue is, well, that doesn't even go with it, I don't think. There was like this little plastic bumper, but there's no way that goes on here. No, it's definitely the wrong size. So we're going to see if this is worth selling online. It looks to be in nice shape. I'm just trying to look it over to make sure nothing's broken off, but the only thing I'm seeing is it looks like maybe there was an antenna. So there's a hole right there. So it looks like maybe there's an antenna that went there. But outside of that, it looks nice. Let's take a look and see if we can find this. There's a box for a model car, an actual motorized one. Okay, so this was a 1967 from Franklin Mint. Okay, so when you type in the Franklin Mint 1967 Corvette, you're looking at 175 listings. Some of those are different models and different colors. So we'll take a look and see what the sold listings show. So there's 114. So it's got a decent sell-through rate. It looks like black with a blue. This particular model doesn't look like it sells great. Like this one sold for 15 bucks. It's the same exact one. There's another one that sold for $16. So we'll probably go ahead and just put that one in the flea market. So we'll set this in here. I'll probably price it at like $10. We'll try it 10 bucks in the flea market. So we'll set that there. So that box was very easy to process because 99.9% of it is all going into the flea market. So we did pull out the one dealer promo right here. So we'll set these back over there. We'll get labels printed for those here. This is trash. These need to soak. Okay. We have a couple more things to process here, and then we're going to take a break and have lunch, and then I'll come back We'll get our photo area set up. We'll change the camera angle a little bit. But what I have here is when we moved into our house, which was probably like 5 years ago, I was doing all of my listing from the basement. Everything that, like, where I do my listing and my storage out here, this was a horse barn. So there was a dirt floor. There was actually stables here when we moved in. I ripped out the stables. We poured concrete to get it a real floor. I put up insulation and put interior walls in here. And I still have stuff down in the basement from when we initially moved in. The basement floods kind of bad sometimes. It gets a little mildewy down there, and just occasionally I'll bring some stuff up from the basement to work on. And these are things that actually sold really well for me years ago. For some reason, I processed most of them. I had like 4 or 5 boxes of these things. I processed them. We sold tons of them. They were selling great. And then I just went down there today to look for something and saw these. So I said, you know what? We'll go ahead and process these as well. These are going to need a cleaning. So these are Christmas ornaments, and I figured it was a great time to get them. So they're pretty cool. They're almost like Fabergé style. So they're glass ornaments. They're really pretty, actually. So here's a hummingbird. It's got like gold gilt on it. So it's going to need a good cleaning. The box is pretty gross. I think we've had a mouse friend come in there at some point. The box is actually bad enough to where I may not even worry about the box. But then we also have some other Christmas ornaments. And these are more of the traditional ball style. But again, it is that, like, I forget, there's another name for it. I just don't remember what that name is at the moment. I'll do some research on it. But these are actually pretty cool. So we have one. So there's one that's actually an egg. And if I recall, these things were selling for like 30 bucks a piece. I picked these up at a garage sale years ago and made an offer on the whole lot. And they are really nice. And these small ones do have boxes that go with them. The hummingbird was really the only dirty one. Here's an even smaller one. But I don't really think I'm going to have to do much with these except just list them. So we'll put them with the cars. The hummingbird, I'm definitely going to have to clean up a little bit. He was sitting out a little exposed. We'll pour out the contents of its box. But yeah, so these like Fabergé style eggs. It starts with a C. Let me look it up. It's like Cloyston or something like that. The style. Yeah, so it's Cloisonne. Cloyson. Fabergé 12 Days of Christmas is some of them. I don't know what this exact one is. But I'll show you a few examples. So we're going to type in that Cloyson. Christmas ornament. And these are from NYCO. So it looks like $10 to $15 for like the ball or the egg. Maybe it's the hummingbirds that I was thinking were selling for better. Again, it's been years since I listed these. Hi, Lamantry. How you doing? I was just showing, we processed some cars this morning, and I was showing some Christmas ornaments that were going to get listed that I had years ago listed, and for some reason just left them in the basement and never got to them again after I sold almost all of them. So we have one, not all of them have boxes. 1, 2, 3. So we'll have 6 ornaments to list when we come back from lunch. That one's probably my favorite. I like these hummingbird ones. Okay, that's all we're going to do for now. Sorry, Lemantria, that you just came on, but I'm going to take a break for lunch. We just got done. We did our shipping this morning. We did processing of cars and ornaments. When I come back from lunch, we're going to get the, I'll show you here. So I have my backdrop kind of hanging up so I don't get it dirty when I process stuff, but there are all the cars that we processed. So when we come back for lunch, I'm going to get that backdrop down and we're going to start taking some photos and get some stuff listed today. Hopefully you enjoyed this first part of the live. We're going to end the live now. We'll come back in probably like an hour if you want to join me again, and we'll get these things photographed, ready to go, and then whatever I can grab around me, we'll try to get listed and processed as well. So this has been Retro Rewinder. Thanks so much for hanging out. Again, I did have lots of people asking me about my shirts. I did put it in the description. This is one of my newest ones, a fun Harry Potter shirt. So if you want to see that, it's in the description of this video. So we will come back in like an hour or so, and we'll see you then.